Is for all to the series of BYS Connect, the knowledge sharing session that we have that happens on a bi-weekly basis. And today's topic is very prevalent, very common, and very useful for all. Topic is Aadhi and Vyadhi. Aadhi relates mental pain, and Vyadhi means other diseases, including physical diseases. And being presented by none other than Ankur. Ankur, in current scenario, I think he is most relevant person to present this particular topic, as this particular topic has kept him away from physical yoga on the ground for some time. So before we start, I would request that we can put our speakers on mute, microphones on mute, and we start with Om chanting once, and then I would request Ankur to continue the session. Take a deep breath in, and while exhaling, closing our eyes, we will chant Om. Over to you, Ankur.
Okay, so thanks, Vaibhav, and I think I'm audible, right?
Yes, very
Good,
clearly.
excellent. So let's have today's topic is Adi and Vyadhi. It is a very important for us that how Adi leads to Vyadhis. Vyadhis mean diseases. So we first begin with some kind of a recap because there is a quite relevant thing we discussed in a last session what we had. So if you look at the definition of yoga, what Sage Patanjali has said in a Samadhi Pada regarding to yoga is a yoga chitta vritti nirodha. This is one of the most famous quote of or probably the sutra which has been given by Rishi Patanjali. And what it tells is that yoga stops the mental modifications and fluctuations. So he is talking here in this particular sutra is regarding to the concentration of mind. We are focusing at one particular thing and we are not allowing the fluctuations of mind. And in the next sutra, he said that tada drashtuha swarupe avasthanam. What tells it is that when we perform yoga, that is the only time when we create the possibilities for the inward journey and realize our true identity. Tada drashtuha swarupe avasthanam. And in next sutra samadhi pada, he tells that whenever you are not doing yoga, the fluctuations of your mind are going to be there. So when we talk about the fluctuations, those are the chitta and vrittis. So we discussed last time, chitta means the impressions in our mind. Now with these impressions, we have inherited based on our experiences, our karma, based on our previous birth and karmas in a previous birth. That's what has been explained in Ashtanga Yoga as well. And vrittis are the fluctuations. Now what happens when we do karma, we generate a deep impression because of our karma, and that deep impression again leads to doing the another karmas. And what happens, this cycle of karma impressions goes on, fluctuations in our mind continuously coming, and we do not get the read of the miseries. And the reason is that we always have kind of a barrier which will always be stopping us from doing our journey inward to progress in our inward journey. Just to know the true self of ourself will not be possible unless our chitta and vrittis are pacified. Swami Vivekananda has a very nicely told is that the chitta and vrittis, if you really want to compare, then you consider a lake, and in that lake there is a muddy water. Muddy water is a I would say disturbed chitta, and there are the fluctuations on the surface of the pond. Those are the vrittis. So even if there is a chitta is not clean or the water is not clean, and even if there are the waves on the surface of the pond, we will not be able to see the bottom part of it. So this tells everything about it, that it is a very, very important to, I would say, the cleanse our chitta and reduce the vrittis. Now, how do we do that? So very nicely explained here by the Rishi Patanjali, which we are going to cover it, that they have told yoga, and yoga, they have told the techniques, that what are the techniques which can help you to pacify your chitta and vrittis. Before that, let us now, we also discuss the three gunas. We will again touch upon the chitta and vrittis, but before that, it is a very, very important to know these three gunas, the three virtues. The sattva guna, everybody has, we all have some kind of guna whenever we do a certain actions into our day. Sometime we do with the sattva prakriti, sometime we do with the rajas prakriti, sometime we do with the tamas prakriti. So what is this sattva, rajas and tamas? What are these three things? The sattva is basically called a spiritual quality. It gives pleasure to you, it gives the inner happiness, it gives light illumination. Whereas rajas is a dynamism. Now, what happens is that if we are very, very dynamic, we want to achieve one thing today, tomorrow another thing, third thing. And if we don't achieve, we feel that pain. We feel that, oh, I have not achieved this today. And that kind of anguish, that kind of a pain is attributable to Rajas Guna. And Tamas is the worst. Lethargic quality, indifference, despair, restraint, akarma, heavy laziness, all these things are the tamas guna. So tamas guna is a worst guna. We are going to discuss about it when we go further, basically, because it's a very, very important to understand what are the mental pain or what are the diseases. So it will help us to basically understand these three gunas. Now, what we discussed last time, we'll quickly recap. We have seen the 5 type of chitta. Chitta is a kshipta is a disturbed. Mudam means dull. Vikshiptam is a distracted. So these are the 3 green color highlighted are not good. Those are not, I would say, the yogic type of chittas. When we talk about the chitta, which is ekagram and niruddham, this is where we need to transit from kshipta mudam or vikshiptam chittas. Vrittis, there are 5 types. Vrittis can be good also. Vrittis can be bad as well. Now this pramana, vipraya, vikalpa, nindra and smriti are the vrittis. Now kaleshas, very, very important. Kaleshas, we should understand this as we progress further, because otherwise we will not be able to understand what is Aadhi or what is a mental pain. Now, Kaleshas, why the water is muddy inside the pond? That is because of the Kalesha, that mud, because of which we cannot see the bottom of the lake, is basically the Kaleshas. Now, biggest Kalesha, the mother of Kaleshas or the mother of miseries is ignorance. Why ignorance? Because of ignorance, there can be other Kaleshas as well. So, avidya, which we call it as a ignorance, which Rishi Patanjali has told, is the biggest Kalesha. Now, avidya, ignorance. We always believe, sometimes we believe that which is, oh, I am right. Now, this is, we call it as a ego, but that can be also because of our ignorance. If we know the right thing, if we can see the right thing as it is, then we have the right knowledge and this ignorance will not be there. So first Kalesha, what Rishi Patanjali explained is avidya. Second one is asmita, ego. Now, sometime avidya generates the ego. Rag, attachment, and dvesh is a repulsion. We dislike, strong likes and dislikes, basically. Those are the rag and dveshas. Abhinivesha, many people have a fear of death. When they close their eyes, there are many, many sadhaks which comes and tell us that, oh, something will happen to me when I close my eyes. I cannot do pranayama. I cannot sit 5 minutes in a particular position because they have a fear of something. They have a fear something bad will happen to them. This is abhinivesha. Now, these kaleshas are basically causing mental pain. We will discuss that. And why we are talking about again is basically we will relate these kaleshas. Now, antarayas. Antarayas, 9 antarayas, which Rishi Patanjali has explained in Ashtanga Yoga, Vyadhi is the first thing, disease. And today we are going to discuss that why Vyadhi or disease happens to us. Okay, there are other 8 antarayas, which is asthayana, lullness, shanchaya, doubt. One of the biggest antaraya, whether yoga is good or not, we don't know. That kind of doubt, which is very proven technique from this Vedic era, and still we have doubt. Laziness, alasya, pramad, carelessness, different priorities we do. We don't care about these things. We don't care about our body. We don't care about our mind. Bhranti, hallucination. Alabdha bhumikatva, non-achievement. We are not able to achieve what we want to achieve and we leave it. And anavishtitatva. That is the instability. Instability means we feel that, oh, few days we do, few days we don't do. So these are the 9 antarayas explained, and today we are going to focus on a vyadhi as well. Now, solutions. We discussed last time what solutions Rishi Patanjali given. Chitta prasadana, thinking, positive thinking. We are going to touch upon that. How we are going to, or what are the ways Rishi Patanjali explained. The chitta prasadana is when someone is happy, then we should be also happy about his happiness. We should not be envying them. We should not be feeling bad about their happiness. And when someone needs help, we should not neglect. We should help really. We should have a feeling of pity and we should really help. So this kind of is a chitta prasadana. Pranav jap, Gayatri mantra chanting, Om chanting, or focusing on your God Almighty while meditating, say for example, as per your religious belief, is called pranav japa. Abhyasa and vairagya are the two things which really helps to achieve the calm mind. Basically, this is what we discussed last time. Now quickly I will go to the next slide. Very important thing which Sudhir has already covered this particular thing, but without understanding we will go into slight detail, considering the basically Adi. So there are the Panchakoshas, 5 layers as per the yogic definition, as per the Taittiriya Upanishad. They have given the definition of Panchakoshas, 5 koshas in our body. The first one is a Annamay Kosh, which is a physical body. The physical body is basically our bones, our flesh, blood circulating inside it. Everything is a part of Annamaya Kosh. Second is a Pranamaya Kosh, which is an energy body. Energy body means the energy travels from our mind to the all other parts of the body. This is the energy body, Pranamaya Kosha. Manonmaya Kosha is an emotional body, is our mind. Vijnanamaya Kosha is our wisdom, is a higher level of intellectual. And Anandamaya Kosha is basically the bliss body. We are going to go into the detail, but remember here that we are going to discuss on a Pranamaya Kosha, which is an energy body, and Manonmaya Kosha, emotional body, in detail. Quickly go to the Annamaya Kosh. Let's further discuss. As we discuss, Annamaya Kosh means is a physical body. Now, physical body is a food, is a physical matter of the body, is made up of 5 elements, and ultimately, after death, everything we will be, each and every individual animal in this particular world, after death, it dissolves into earth again. It becomes the same. Now, the first layer of body is linked to the root chakra, which is having earth element present in body. So root chakra is basically a symbol of earth element. Materialism starts with the root chakra. So that is the reason whenever we do chakra meditation, we always first focus on a root chakra. Once root chakra is active, what happens? This materialism gradually goes away. Now disease takes place in Annamaya Kosh because it is a physical body. What helps to take care of Annamaya Kosh is a yoga asanas. So basically, and Annamaya Kosh is basically a sadbhav. It relies on sadbhav vikara, means it is a birth, existence, growth, change, decay, and death. This is the cycle we do have. Now methods to cleanse it. How can we clean our Annamaya Kosha? Upvas, fasting, asanas, tattva shuddhi, inner purifications. We call it as a Shadakriya also. Tapashcharya and detachment from the worldly matters. Now this is not just only physical, but this is coming here, detachment from the worldly matters. We will discuss about it, that how we can achieve the detachment from these worldly matters. So this is the Annamay Kosh. Pranamay Kosh is very, very important. Now, Pranamay Kosh, when we talk about, basically, there are 72,000 nadis in our body. Nadis are means the pranic channels or the energy pathways, which takes pran from one position to the another position or one place to another place. Now, out of the 72,000 nadis, we do have three main nadis. One is the Ida, which is basically when we breathe through left nostril, we call it as we activate Ida, and when we breathe through right nostril, it is a Pingala Nadi basically. So Ida Nadi starts from the left side of the root chakra, and it ends at the Sahasrara chakra. So Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna Nadi. Now, once Ida and Pingala are activated, then basically the prana enters into Sushumna Nadi, which activates the Kundalini and seven chakras. So this is what is basically the yogic science talks about. So pranayam kosha is dealing with the nadis. Now, if our nadis are clean, if the energy flows from one place to another place without any obstruction, that means our body is healthy. We will not have any disease. So it is always our intent that when we do pranayama, pranayama basically takes care of our cleansing, or I would say that the cleaning of our energy channels. It opens up our energy path, and that is the reason that in BYS we really give a lot of importance to pranayama, because pranayama, I will tell you that pranayama is also very, very important. When we go to the next one is a manonmay kosha, which is our mental state basically. But before that, let's understand a little bit into detail. This is a Rajas Guna. Rajas Guna means dynamism. What we have is attributable to this pranayam kosha. Now, five main pranas are there. Just I will tell you for the knowledge purpose. There are Udana. Udana is responsible for the higher level activities, consciousness, enlightenment. And prana is a flow of prana from the mind up to the heart. It goes in a downward direction, where the Udana prana goes from down to the upside. It Udana prana goes from the heart level to the brain level. So that is the reason it's responsible for the higher level of activities, consciousness, and enlightenment. So what we do when we do the meditation or pranayama, basically our higher level of activity, consciousness, Udan Pran becomes strong, and this helps us for the enlightenment. Now, Samana Prana. Samana Prana is a very, very important prana, which is very, very important for the digestion purpose. And it also is a balancing act. It maintains the balance between prana and apan. So we will discuss apan. What is apan? So prana is from flowing of the flow of the energy from mind up to heart. Apan is related to excretion from the stomach to the rectum to the anus, basically is apan prana. So it saman prana, which is the third one, is keeps the balance to it. Now Vyan, very, very important, is a circulation of blood, all cellular level activity, nerves. So these things throughout the body, entire body, Vyana keeps the balance basically. So it is responsible for the all circular level, or I would say circulation throughout the body, transport of information from one place to another place throughout the body. So these are the five pranas. Now pranayama cleans these 72,000 nadis, and that is the reason it impacts the pranamaya kosha. This is what we should understand by this particular slide. If you cannot remember these five pranas, is fine. But we must understand that by doing pranayama, what we do, we cleanse our 72,000 nadis. That is why we always give importance to the pranayama. Next comes the Manonmay Kosha. Manonmay Kosha is a mental sheath, and it is nourished by the knowledge, right knowledge, correct knowledge. Jnanendriyas are the sense organ through which one perceives the objects of the world, and the karmendriyas are the organs through actions through which one manipulates the objects of this world. So basically, Manonmay Kosha is taking the inputs from these Jnanendriyas, Karmendriya, and gives output to the Karmendriyas. It gives order to them. Now, this kosha is made up of combination of sattva guna and tamo guna. This is very, very important. So, sattva guna is a very good and tamo is a very worst. So, what happens here is that our vrittis, fluctuations of mind, develops here, and basically our impressions, what we call it as impressions in our mind, are residing at the manonmay kosha. Now, what helps is a pranayama, and pranayama is why we are telling, because as we take a deep and long breath while focusing at one particular point, what happens? Our entire body relaxes. Entire body, including mind, all glands, everything relaxes. And once mind relaxes, basically our chitta vritti fluctuations basically gradually go down. So that is the reason that it's a very, very important that we perform every day pranayama and meditation. If possible, we should take out the time for our mind, because this is the food for the mind. This is the food for the mind. There is nothing else is a food for the mind. Thinking positive, meditation, pranav japa, chitta prasadana, these are the food, or I would say positive inputs for the mind. Now, what happens is that there are emotional imbalances which happens because of many events, and which leads to basically anger, jealousy, lust, fear, bad, malice, and greed. So it generates disturbances into our mind. And when this disturbance is generated, what it affects is immediately the flow of the prana into our body. So what happens? It impacts the pranamaya kosha. And our basically what happens is that the this results somewhere in a blockage of our prana. Now I will tell you one thing is that when we do pranayama, what happens is that our vagus nerves gets activated, and when vagus nerve gets activated, it has a direct impact with the stomach and intestine. Now US is studying that, how can we, without doing meditation or pranayama, by external medicine, how can we activate vagus nerve so that we can get rid of many serious diseases like colitis, or basically the irregular bowel syndrome or irritable bowel syndrome. Basically they are studying this, but the pranayama activates the vagus nerve, and it has a direct relation with the digestion. This is now proven scientifically. So basically what has been told is the pranayama really impacts the cleansing of our nadis, 72,000 nadis, and there should not be any doubt on this particular thing. We should understand this thing. And what happens when these emotional imbalances results in a blockage into our pranic channel, then definitely the flow of prana will not be smooth throughout the body. So what happens? The mental disturbances, which we call it as Aadhi, anger, jealousy, lust, which results into very strong likes and dislikes, which leads to kaleshas, and this kaleshas leads to diseases basically. So Manonmay Kosha has a direct link with the Annamay Kosha, we can say like that. Whatever we think, our mental disturbances affects our physical body. There is no doubt about it. So that is the reason now we always talk about stress. Stress causes fluctuations in a sugar level. Stress causes sleeplessness. Stress causes high blood pressure. Stress causes a lot of diseases. So this is what we have to understand here is this is result of our emotional imbalance. We do not know how to keep our self, I would say, equanimous. We are going to discuss that what Lord Krishna has told. So let's quickly go to the Vijnanamay Kosha. Vijnanamay Kosha is basically higher in intellectual, your wisdom, intuition, or we call it as a siddhis we develop here, and this is at the part of the Vijnanamay Kosha. Your will, your determination, your discernment are the attributes of this kosha. Now meditation can directly affects this Vijnanamay kosha, and that is why it's a very, very important for us to perform every day 10 minutes, 15 minutes, up to your time. meditation, please perform the meditation, whether you do a pranav jap, a gayatri mantra chanting, or whatever form of it, but 10 to 15 minutes, please perform the meditation. Next is a Anandamay Kosha, which is the pure blissful experience. We call it as a Satchit Anand state, which we call it as a Kevalya state. Many definition or different words has been told, but Anandamay Kosha has a Sattva Guna. It is a state of Samadhi, the blissfulness experience we are talking about. And this is only possible once we reach to the state of Samadhi by following Dhyana, Dharana, Dhyan, and Samadhi. So it is a very important that first we concentrate on single element and later on with the practice, we go into the a state where there are no thoughts into our mind. So this is leading basically to the Anandamay Kosha, this blissful experience state of Samadhi is Anandamay. These are the 5 koshas we have now discussed about. Now, Adi, as we discussed, is a completely, we discussed the strong likes, dislike, emotional surges, and this affects the flow of the pranic energy, and this leads to imbalance into pranic energy, and this leads to basically the Vyadhis. So this is what I want to explain through this particular slide, how to avoid it. Now, so first thing is that the problem started with the Manonmay Kosh, our mental thinking. So Rishi Patanjali told very nicely Yam and Niyam. Why Yam and Niyam? Because Yam and Niyam brings the internal harmony. You are in harmony with the nature, you are in harmony with other people, you have started accepting. And this is what is a Yam and Niyam. When you practice non-violence as the first element of the Yam, what happens is that you are in a automatically harmony with the whole world. You have no problem with anybody. And what happens? Your kaleshas like dvesha goes away. Any strong dislike with someone will go away gradually because you have accepted each and every person is a creation of God and we don't have any right to find any faults into it. When this feeling automatically becomes strong with the practice of yam and niyam, with the pranayama and meditation, what happens? Our chitta and vrittis get pacified. Okay, so Manonmay Kosh once comes into order, automatically your Pranayama Kosha comes into order and your Annamay Kosh comes into order. So you can see that which part basically affects what kosha of the body. This is a very important thing to understand. If I go further, so I just want to just quickly touch upon that what we are talking here is that with this yoga when we talk about is a asana, it is a pranayama and a meditation together. This is the yoga. Now, Ashtanga Yoga, only talking about the control of mind with the conviction, no doubt in your mind, controlling your chitta and vrittis. That is what is Ashtanga Yoga, gives the definition of yoga. And by this, we exceed our mind by removing kaleshas and feel the pure consciousness. This is the central theme is Ashtanga Yoga. This is the theme what Rishi Patanjali has explained in a various 195 sutras of the Ashtanga, Ashtanga Yoga. Sorry. So what happens in this process? Our muda, either we are lethargic, if we are restless, if we are distracted, our chitta is distracted. That becomes ekagram, niruddham, and finally niruddham means arrested. No thoughts into our mind. Our chitta and vrittis, we have arrested them. So we are in a full control of our mind. Our mind is our slave. We are not the slave of our mind. That is the state is a niruddha. This is what is basically explained in Ashtanga Yoga. So this is Adi and Vyadhi, and again, very important thing I want to discuss today, which is what Lord Krishna has told in a Bhagavad Gita. Now, if you really understand, Arjuna is a warrior in the war, and he denies that I will not fight against the Kauravas. So Krishna explains that this is your tamas guna, you are akarma, you don't want to perform your duty, you have developed a tamas guna in yourself. And what Krishna explained here is the basically 3 yoga he explained. Jnana yoga, which is a path of knowledge, bhakti yoga, the path of devotion, and karma yoga is a path of actions. You can meet me, or our Atma can meet to Paramatma, or the God residing in our side by within ourselves by three ways, three different ways. But what most important definition Krishna has given is yogaha karmashu kaushalam. Now to get rid of all these Adi and Vyadhi, please understand this yogaha karmashu kaushalam. What is this meaning? Yoga is a skill or a dexterity in performing your actions. What kind of dexterity or expertise we are talking about? We are talking about whatever actions you are doing, that you should not generate sanskaras, deep impressions in your mind. If you devote everything to God Almighty, then that becomes sanskar, that becomes your mind will not generate any impressions in your mind. So somebody is thinking negative about yourself, you need not to have negative feeling about him or her, because it is he or she is doing her or his karma, and we are responsible for our karma. We should not generate any kind of impressions or any kind of deep sanskaras or ill bad feeling about someone, because it may be because of many reasons, or one, he or she might be thinking bad about us, but we should not think evil or bad about anybody. This is what Lord Krishna has told you. Do your work as a skillful person. That is a yoga ha karmashu kaushalam. This is the central theme of yoga has been explained. And another definition he tells, samatvam yoga uchyate, means whether you get a pleasure or pain, whether you are convenient or inconvenient, happiness or sadness, these are the same. And when your mind is equanimous, when your mind treats both the things as equal, you are doing yoga. So this is what, and the biggest thing what I can tell you is the example of the Nishkam Karma is a Bharatiya Yoga Sansthan, because of which we all are joined together. So I hope you would have understood this Adi Vyadhi and what are the definitions or what are the solutions has been told in Ashtanga Yoga and Bhagavad Gita by Lord Krishna. That when we don't generate any sanskaras, no impressions into our mind, what is the where is the question is coming from? The fluctuations of chitta and maya, chitta and vrittis. We are not generating further impressions, and by the yogic practice we are getting rid of fluctuating mind, fluctuating chitta and vrittis. So it is a very very important that we, whether we get fruit or not, it is a will of God, and once we this strong belief we understand, then it becomes very clear, or that then what happens is basically our chitta and vrittis get pacified. Everything is a God Almighty's will and wish. So very nicely, I think we can understand the way Bharatiya Yoga Sansthan is performing without taking any contribution. It is a very, very essential that you can see what Krishna has told yoga ha karmashu kaushalam is very nicely, I would say, in practical explained by Bharatiya Yoga Sansthan. So now we will talk about vyadhis, the common diseases. In today's we are going to discuss about, say for example, you have an issue of very common problems we have taken from the BYS book. The content has been taken from 101 Rog and Yoga, Asana and Yoga Vignan, Pranayam Vignan books, which is I think with quite many of you. And even though you don't have, we are going to today we are going to discuss very few diseases, which is a frozen shoulder, cervical spondylitis, acidity, diabetes, sleeplessness, high blood pressure, constipation. What are the yogic solutions we are talking about? So let's quickly, I will take you through that. If you look here, apart from our one or two issues, basically you will find the stress is the main cause of many issues. So let's first talk about frozen shoulder. Now it is because of the swelling of tissues, hardening of tissues at shoulder. Many sadhaks came here, probably around 20 to 30 sadhaks we have already cured in by doing the proper postures which has been given over here. So frozen shoulder is a curable thing. Sometime you might feel it very painful during the night time with the numbness you can feel, and there can be because of its diabetes or a heart related issue, Parkinson's disease, cervical spondylosis or thyroid disorders can cause the frozen shoulder. What are the solutions given in as per the book in BYS? Tadasana, Garudasana, twist of the hands, Gaumukhasana, Bhujangasana, Shavasana, and pranayamas like Anulom Vilom, Talbadh pranayama will help. Now, one very good massage related things have been recommended, which is you do massage with the hot and cold water and massage with the sesame oil, which is a very highly recommended for the frozen shoulder patients. Diet point of view, don't drink or eat cold things, so please avoid this. Take ample amount of green leafy vegetables, fruits, soup with the black pepper, and avoid fast food or unhealthy foods. So our BYS teachers can tell you, those you are having the frozen shoulder issues, they can guide you very well. And please tell to those who are suffering, sometime you may go to that level that you need to take the steroids also to get rid of the pain, which will not be which will be very harmful to your body. Don't come to that state. Just share the knowledge and pass the benefit to others as well. And they can definitely join any BYS center, which is in a Discovery Gardens, JLT, or in gardens. Cervical spondylitis, another very common issue, pain at the neck and shoulder, frozen muscles around the neck, which causes sometimes the headache also and dizziness also. So, and sometimes you get the pain like someone is pointing needle at your back, and it's a very, very painful during the night time. Sometimes you feel numbness as well. And the possible reasons are osteoporosis, the holes in your bones. Its density of the bones has started reducing, wear and tear due to aging. Long working hours on computer is one of the main reason, and working from home is has really increased these issues significantly. Using a very big pillow at the time of sleeping is also one of the reason, and work for long hours without break, keeping your head down, mainly the posture related issues. And what can help you is the neck and shoulder movements, which we do in a BYS class. Again, Tadasana, Gaumukhasana, Ustrasana, Bhujangasana, Tiryak Bhujangasana. Now these asanas, if you look at it, you take your stretch your either head slightly up or just take your head back. These all asanas will help you to cure basically cervical spondylitis. Spondylitis. Another thing is that again here the massage, you can do the same massage with the hot water and sesame oil. And diet related precautions again are the more or less similar. Please don't use pillow at the night time if you are having cervical related issue. And avoid fast food, unhealthy food. Anyway, it doesn't help. Ginger and garlic are very, very useful. Now, acidity, one of the very common problem, burning sensation at the chest, acidic burps, bloating, and it can cause the ulcers in the digestive tract. And possible reasons, again, unhealthy lifestyle, oily, spicy diet, very sweet food in diet, or food with a lot of maida, bread, this all items made up of the white flour, cookies, and these things are basically the possible reason. Excessive meat consumption, alcohol, eating stale food in the fridge for days. So I mean, so many times without hunger, we have a habit of eating every 1 or 2 hours something. Late night dinner, less consumption of water, excessive food, and frozen food also can cause these acidity issues. Now, the two possible solutions they have given is, one is the Vaman Dhoti, is a Kunjal Kriya, which we have already demonstrated in our BYS class how to do. Drink the 5 to 6 glass of lukewarm water with salt into it, and then basically just vomit it out. If you cannot do it easily, then you can use your fingers to have some tinkling sensation, and 5 to 6 glass water comes out with acid inside. And after that you need to perform the gargling off with the salted water. So this is a Vaman Dhoti, is a one of the very, very useful kriya. uh, Massage your heels with the mustard oil. This gives basically, we reduce the acidity issue. Now asanas point of view, Navasana, Paschimottanasana, Konasana, Pavan Muktasana, these are the asanas which really impacts at your abdomen. And Basically, the Shavasana, Anulom Vilom, Chandra Bedi, Shitali, and a Pravini Pranayama, basically it relaxes your body. Plus, like Chandra Bedi, Shitali, and Plavini Pranayama, it cools your body very effectively. So what happens is that basically overall your acidity related issue reduces. Now, diet point of view, you can take the khichdi, which is equal amount of moong and rice with the pudina chutney. Pudina is one of the very helpful in reducing any gastric disorders, including acidity. Take watermelon, cucumber, carrot like juicy fruits. Drink water with the fennel seeds soaked in 2 to 3 hours. Coconut water, and avoid please sour things, sour juices. Milk also in BYS, the BYS book has been told to avoid. And when I avoided milk, basically I was having an acidity issue. It got reduced. Dal, red chili powder, all these things basically should be taken into very moderate quantity. Don't take too much. When we talk about diabetes, basically the lack of insulin or a sleeping insulin, they call it as a sleeping insulin, means our body itself do not recognize the insulin. And what happens, the insulin is made a layer around it so that it cannot perform its duty. So immune system sometimes acts against the insulin. So what happens, it cannot break the glucose into glycogen. And what happens is that because of that we find a higher level of sugar in our in our urine, basically. So this is what is a diabetes, and it causes weakness in body, and each and every part organ of our body gets impacted with this. Now it can also increase the cholesterol level, frequent urination, and one of the main reasons what has been explained is a stress which causing imbalances of hormone. Excessive fast food, inactive lifestyle, of obesity, hereditary disorders, excess sweet in diet, impact of blood circulation. It has an impact on blood circulation as well as kidney functions and the heart disease relate. It can lead to a risk of heart diseases as well. So basically, what are the solutions have been told is a Trikonasana, Navasana, Kamar Chakrasana. Now, these are the all asanas. What we talk about is basically impacting the pancreas, the left and a right side of your abdomen or abdomen region, which basically ensures that the pancreas gets activated by this. So you can see Vakrasana, Janu Shirasana, Paschimottasana, Mandukasana, Pavan Muktasana, Padutana. Halasana, Sinhasana, Nokasana. All these asanas, what we have talked is basically impacting your abdomen. Now, special pranayamas like Agnisar, Kapalbhati pranayama. These are the very important pranayamas which will help you to activate again your fire or your abdomen region by activating your pancreas as well as liver. Brahmari pranayama, long deep breaths and japa meditation, positive thinking can help you in this, and a woman dhoti is also recommended. Diet point of view, you can take the lemon water with the warm water. Drink always lukewarm water, don't drink the cold water. Bitter gourd juice in the morning. Plenty of fruits and salad per season, sprouted moong, chanas, and multigrain cereals. Don't stick to any one type of cereal. Please keep changing your cereals to multigrain cereals. One time jawar or millet, one time wheat, or like that. We have two different cereals to be tried. Another one major issue, which is I think we are close to our end of our session. We'll take few questions. This is the last thing I'm going to take, and remaining, I think if something is there, we will take in the next session. Sleeplessness is again a very big issue. Many people feel that they are not getting proper sleep, and there are three stages have been explained in our BYS book. First stage is a half slept. We are not slept completely. We are half awake, half slept. Second stage is a dreaming, where subconscious mind is active. It creates its own world, and we don't know where we are, and we can see one day we have this dream, another day another dream. This is the second stage of dreaming. And third stage is deep sleeps, which is what is a very important. Pranayama, meditation, is the biggest helpful thing to those patients who are suffering from sleeplessness. What are the possible reasons? Stress, excessive fast food, late night diet, negative thinking, bad habits of sleeping late. All these things are basically the main possible reasons for sleeplessness. What are the asanas and pranayamas? Why I have highlighted here the pranayama? Because some asanas will definitely help you, but the biggest benefit you will get from the yoga nindra. Pranayamas like Chandra Vedi, Anulom Vilom, Brahmari, Abhyantarakshapi, and Japa meditation. Positive thinking, Gayatri Mantra chanting. These all things will help you. And there is also, it is recommended to do massage 5 to 10 minutes with the almond oil. Read the spiritual books or books on a positive subject. Don't please read the negative material or negative news at the night time or before sleep, because it can have impact on your sleep. And try to eat less at the night time. That's why we always tell in our BYS class, please control your dinner, because dinner is the, after dinner you are going to sleep. You don't need that much heavy meal. So it is a very highly recommended to eat less at the night time. And one day in a week, those who are suffering from sleeplessness, they need to be on fruits and vegetables. This will help them significantly to cleanse their body, to ensure that there are any pranic channels are blocked, that will get cleared with the pranayama yoga nindra will help you significantly. So with this, probably I think we close today's session. We'll take few questions, and I'll over to first Weber.
Yeah, thank you, Ankur. Thanks a lot. This is really insightful and something I would say, even if you do not have any of these vyadhis, all these asanas and diet precautions are must have so that you don't catch any of these diseases. So session is open for questions. If you want to write in the chat box, you can write in chat box, or can directly unmute yourself and ask the questions. First question from my side, Ankur, you said massage in some of these solutions. So massage which particular part for which particular vyadhi? Say for example, sleeplessness, massage which part of the body?
It, yes, it is explained here. Massage, when we talk about sleeplessness, is at the heels basically. Is there is a
Okay.
massage? Sorry, I have forgotten to mention here. The massage 5 to 10 minutes with the almond oil at your basically the heels. So when you massage it, basically it helps you to give a sound sleep. So it's an Ayurvedic recommendation also, and it's mentioned in our book as well. So I have also tried it. You can sometime even it is recommended in Ayurveda to use the ghee of cow basically, which also helps you to basically have a sound sleep.
Right. There are some acupressure points that directly impact your brain cells, right? If we massage
Yes,
from heel.
yes, you are right. The all acupressure points. If you look at the signs of acupressure, basically our palms and our heels are having a lot of acupressure points basically, and this is directly affecting basically the state of our mind, and that is the reason that they are recommending 5 to 10 minutes massage with the almond oil.
Right, right. And in other vyadhis, do we need to massage at that particular point of the body itself, or it's
uh,
on the soles only?
just we will go, it depends on the basically vyadhi wise. Say for example, if you have a frozen shoulder or those kind of issues, basically those are posture related issues, so we have to apply sesame oil or whatever is recommended here in a area of impact basically. So where, say for example, cervical is there, the around neck, basically wherever you have a pain, you can apply and massage there. So it's basically depends on the area of impact. Now say for example, if let me check the diabetes one, I think there is nothing mentioned here with respect to massage. So any of the vyadhis, we massage is recommended only where there is a posture related issue and a sleeplessness. Today what we covered.
Got it. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. You
Any
can see here the
questions?
frozen shoulder
Yeah.
is at the frozen shoulder. It is recommended, and cervical spondylitis as well as in acidity, but with the mustard oil has been recommended. In acidity, massage your heels with the mustard oil.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Open forum. Anybody has any queries related to today's topic discussion? Related to Aadhi, related to Vyadhi? I think the presentation itself has been self-explanatory, so not many queries or questions here.
Yeah, I hope the attendees would have really understood it. So I just it's good if you can give the feedback that basically really it was an you could understand or no, it will be good, so that next time we will try to improve upon it. And please don't hesitate in sharing your feedback. We are open for your feedback. Don't feel that we are going to feel bad or like that, because we believe in nishkam karma. So it's your feedback will be definitely taken with the positive frame of mind.
Hey, hi, Ankur, Sushil here.
Yes, Sushil.
So the session was very, very nice and informative. I think it is just that a lot of content to digest. And that's the reason you probably are not seeing a lot of questions, but it has all the content which are really required. I mean, be it from the Vyadhi's point of view or the earlier part, from all the aspect, be it the reason and what all things we should do from yoga perspective, as well as the dietary and so on, right? So I think it's pretty elaborative. So thanks for putting it together, Ankur.
Thank you. Thank you, team. Thank you, BYS. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ankur.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ankur.
Thanks, Ankur.
Thank
It
you.
was really very informative actually. Like I'm thinking of questions, but everything is there in your PPT, like in the presentation. So thanks.
Very
It
good.
was
Thank
really
you.
good.
Thank you, team.
So we shall chant Om once before we conclude the session.
Yes.
Take a deep breath in, and while exhaling, we will chant Om. Om. Thank you. Thank you, Ankur. Thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you, team.
Thank you.
Bye.